Alright guys, so now you're on to the production lesson for this week, okay? If you're here, you should be inside the form that I've created. What I did is I did this for two reasons. One, to make sure that you guys have your videos inside your work so you can, not go back and forth. And two, just to make sure that you guys continue, or actually you guys watch the video before you continue the lesson. A lot of you guys get confused on, hey, I didn't watch the video, I'm going into the lesson. So here it's kind of like, okay, here's the video for you. Make sure you complete the lesson like it should be, okay? So this week's production lesson is actually going to be on creating a stage name. Now, believe it or not, that's going to be probably one of the most important things in composing your music, especially as a modern artist, because that's what we're kind of going for, is pop music, which is popular music, okay? So we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. But before I do that, I want to make sure that you guys know, please watch the full video. It's going to be important to complete this exercise, all right? So let's go ahead. Let's continue on to our next thing here, okay? So this is actually production, creating a stage name. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be covering two to three things. First part is, what is a stage name? Very simply put, a stage name is a name used by performers or entertainers, musicians, actors, comedians, as I have there, basically to hide their actual name or to cover up their actual name. And this can be done for multiple reasons. We're going to talk about those multiple reasons next. But that's just what a stage name is. It's kind of basically a nickname, I would say. For example, here we have two famous artists here and their stage names, which is Katy Perry and Nicki Minaj. Those are both stage names. And their actual names, Katy Perry's is Catherine Elizabeth Hudson, all right? And then Nicki Minaj is Anika Tanya Maraj. I think I got it right. Not sure. Okay, so I think I got that one right. But yeah, just imagine, like, those names are really, really, really not as rememberable. I mean, Nicki Minaj's might be, but you might not actually remember it because it's hard to pronounce. But Catherine Elizabeth Hudson, that's like your normal everyday name. Katy Perry, that sounds a little bit cooler, easy to remember because it's smaller. Same with Nicki Minaj, and that's going to be one of the reasons why you want to choose a stage name, okay? And the reason why we're choosing a stage name this week is because you guys are becoming really, really, really good at what you're doing. So I want to give you guys just an added little kind of like cherry on the top that says, okay, we made it. We're going to be artists. Let's come up with a stage name. All right. So some of the reasons why you might choose a stage name. All right. The first, I guess I went too far. Okay, why you might want to create a stage name. All right. The reasons why, you can have many reasons why. One, to protect your identity. If you're, like, let's say, for example, someone really famous from stalkers or anything like that, you make it more difficult to track where they live and maybe what school they attend. You do it to protect your identity of your family and members from either like paparazzi, which are the photographers, and things like that. This is an important one either highlights or de-emphasizes, which means kind of hides someone's heritage. We're going to talk about that too with the person to our right over there. And then lastly, makes your name, and probably most important, more rememberable. Okay? So if someone hears your name, they're like, oh, I've heard that name before. But if they hear someone like to the right over here, Farrokh Bulsara, or Bulsara, gosh, how do you say it again? Bulsara, yeah. Farrokh Bulsara. So if you hear someone like this guy, you might not remember this name, and it's kind of a hard name to pronounce. Right? If you don't know who this guy is over this way, this is Freddie Mercury, the lead singer of Queen. Now, he ended up changing his name for multiple reasons. One, because it is hard to pronounce, but two, he did it to hide his ethnicity. All right? If you might know from his name, he is of Indian descent. So, he hid his name. He didn't want to be associated with his nationality, or his ethnicity, so he put it to the side. Okay? Was it the right choice? I'm not sure. That's up for debate, but to him, it was, and that's how he wanted to be identified. And it ended up making a pretty good name too. Next, part 3, how do we create a stage name? So now it's going to be up to you guys. We're going to get deciding on what stage name you're going to take. So part 3, we're going to go through some steps and ideas on how to do that. All right. The first step, using your own name. So however your name is, whatever it might be, what you can do is you can try to simplify your name. Okay. Simplify it to the point, if you see this long name up at the top, I'm not even sure how to pronounce it, they kind of like shorten it up. So that's a good way of doing that. They also provide examples down below. Geez, that's a long second name. If you look at Rudolph Valentino, he's born Rudolph Alfonso Raffaele Perrier Filbert Gigliamani de Valentina de, and it's a long name, right? He shortened it to Rudolph Valentino. So use your own name. That could be one step. All right, we're going to talk about this method here and going about that. All right, and you can do a couple things to your name. For example, Freddie Mercury took inspiration from his name. Farouk is his first name. They called him Freddie because that's how they called him. And then what he did is he just put a different word at the end of it, which in this case, Mercury. So angelicize your name. All right, basically create some sort of like easier sounding name. That, for example, this one could be Freddie Mercury. They had to have down there Kal Penn. These are some good alternatives to maybe, alter your name just a little bit. Next, what we have going on is we're going to be talking about the next step here, which it's not loading. Alright, so there we go. Alright, so not using images. Wow, it just loads horribly. There we go. Alright, so 3, use maybe like someone's name in your family. For example, that's what Katy Perry did. She chose to use her mother's maiden name, which is going to be the basically her last name there, which is Perry. She decided to use that. You can use some of your family's name, your brother or sister. You can use your last name, add it with yours. Boom, you got yourself a stage name. All right. You can use your middle name. That's what Angelina Jolie did. And if you don't know her, she's an actress. She used her middle name to blend with her first one, and that's what she came up with. So that's step 4. Number 5, use only a single name. For example, Beyonce Giselle Knowles, she used just Beyonce, and she actually put a little hyphen there at the end, which is cool. Rihanna just uses Rihanna. Zendaya used just Zendaya. Madonna just uses Madonna. Right? Just use one name. So these are some of the ideas for using your name. Now you can maybe use some images to describe your stage name, or use for your stage name. So you could choose, let's say for example, basically an image that's related to your genre, anything like that. For example, Zombie or Rotten, Rob Zombie, they have like, he's a musician. You can add like some sort of images, like for example, look around your room, pick something like, for example, a lamp. I can be called Anthony Lamp. Boom, done. I got myself a stage name, right? But you can be more creative than that, and I suggest you do. But just continuing off of that, Slash is a famous guitarist. He actually has his name Slash. I think it became a nickname. Ooh, too far. But Slash has his. What you can also do is you can stylize your name with numbers, hyphens, characters, etc. For example, Tupac Amaru Shakur, he put his name just as Tupac. Alright? Which made it kind of nice and simple. There's E40, there's Kesha with like a little dollar sign. Things like that, you could stylize your name. The Ramones, there's another famous basically group as well. What happens here is that you can think about who and what you basically had an impact in your life. For example, the Ramones, someone put like an influence of that band into their name. Lady Gaga was inspired from the song Radio Gaga by the Queen and decided to add that to her name. So these are ways that you guys can come up with your stage name. Next, creating a story. what you can do, basically, option number 3, it should say, is going to be creating a story. Okay, I'm actually going to change that really quick to creating a story because that is important. All right, so creating a story. So what we need to do is we need to go ahead. It's loading. Guess for whatever reason, there we go. All right, so what you can do is you can have a story about your name and make that story up about basically how you got it, or if it's actually a real story, and come up with your name. All right, you can make sure that maybe it's searchable, pronounceable. Either way, you can just double check it, make sure it's a good one. You can't just make it up. Like, for example, Bono Vox, his story is that when he was a kid, he was said he had a good voice, which is actually, he was called that. It was Latin for good voice, Bono Vox. So he just ended up saying Bono, which is good. Then Slash basically came up with his name when he was called Slash as a kid for running around. So these necessarily don't have to relate to music or what you're going for. You can come up with them on your own. So with that being said, let's get composing. No, that's not the right one. Let's get naming. How about this one? Let's get composing our names. Boom, bingo. All right, so go on, click to the next, or actually, I'm gonna go with it through. I'm gonna go with it with you guys. All right, so we're gonna go up here. Boom. So when you click on the next part, you're going to see the title page up here, music production, exercise number 3, creating an artist or creating an artist / stage name. All right, so here is going to be the video for this. Make sure you guys get it right here, watch it. Okay, did you watch the video? You should be clicking yes to answer that question. All right, you click next. Okay, did you really watch it? All right, if you're watching this, you know what the answer is. Mr. Kaluka, I really watched it. Boom, bingo. These other two, I will tell you, they will take you back to the beginning over and over and over again. Click yes. All right. Next, deciding on what method we use. We just talked about the methods. Select one of them, using your own name, using an image, or creating a story. In this case, I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go on with you guys. I'm going to use using my own name. It's going to ask, what stage name are you going to be using? Decide on it. I haven't really decided on my own, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to use my middle name with you if you guys don't know my full name. All right, Anthony John Kaluka. Now, I've always been told throughout like the history of time that my name has been very confusing for some people. All right. Now, whether that is, hold on, let me minimize this really quick over here. Now, whether that is people at the grocery store pronouncing it, I always get like Kalaka, blah blah blah. A lot of stuff, okay? So to change my name, I want to use my real name, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use my middle name. And I'm actually going to take, I think I'm going to just take the end of my name here. I'm going to use John Luca. I like it. All right, so how did you end up creating your real stage name? I used my middle name and the last half of my last name. Boom, bingo. That's all you got to put for there. All right. Once you click next, it will take you to the next page. As a musical artist, would you want to perform solo or in a group? So, coming up with your personality. You created your name. Now we're going to come up with a personality for you. All right. As a musical artist, what do you want to perform, solo or in a group? I think I'm going to perform solo. I just want to perform it by myself. I'm selfish. All right. Choosing a tempo or a genre. We're going to be mostly focusing in tempo or genre. So over here, select whatever one. I'm going to go with, I like house music. Jazz funk. I'll do it. I'll do jazz funk. Select a positive trait that may best represent your musical style. I'm going to say, there's a lot of them. I'm going to say encouraging. I'm going to be an encourager. select a negative, just in case I want to write something bad. I'm going to write maybe something that, so if I have encouraging, I'm going to write maybe something that's, bossy. I'm going to do bossy. And then all you got to do is submit your response, okay? So if you guys watch this, that means you're good to go for the week for me. And I will see you guys in office hours or next week. All right? I'll see you guys. Have a good one.